What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of Train Sim World 2, and we are going to be on the Clinchfield route today, and I recently just picked this up a couple days ago, actually. It was on sale, even though Steam just had their winter sale for the most part. It was on sale again, so I ended up picking it up because it's been on my wish list, and today we are checking it out. Better late than never, I always say, but we are a little bit late on this one. But we're going to be working the 3 tutorial scenarios or introduction scenarios today. We do have the railroad route intro, the F7 intro, and then the SD40 introduction. And I just kind of wanted to showcase these off to you guys in case you guys have not purchased it yet, so you guys know how to actually drive these locomotives and whatnot. So let's go ahead and hop in here with the route introduction first, and let's see what this route is all about.
Welcome to Train Sim World 2, an immersive and highly detailed rail simulation featuring authentic routes and trains from around the world. You've just been awarded some action points. These are displayed in the top right corner of the screen and count towards your overall experience. It is necessary to be fully aware of the surrounding world. Practice by looking up, down, left, and right.
I swear every single one of these scenarios starts out exactly the same. I'm not gonna lie, don't want to invert it. I'm gonna walk over to here.
Besides operating trains, there are lots of requirements to navigate on foot.
Got the old GMC right here.
This is one of many interactives to be discovered, but not all of them will be as easy to find as this one.
That was definitely a major lag spike right there. Got the old, I believe it's a GMC van, or either GMC or Ford, I don't know, one of the two. But let's go ahead and hop in our F7 over here. Alright, let us go ahead and hop in here. Open the door, climb on up.
A lot of time will be spent operating trains, so when ready, sit in the engineer's seat.
Look at this, guys. Very nice. We finally have, or not finally, but we now have an F7 in this game. And it's either an F7, I believe it's an F7. Yeah, so we do have an F7 now. And yep, heads up display.
Of the screen. This is a guide to all the critical information needed to operate this train. This is the speed display. The white needle shows current speed. The red marker indicates the maximum permitted speed. This is the direction display. An arrow will indicate forward, reverse, and neutral directions. This is the power display. A number will indicate what position the power control is in. These are brake indicators. They show the state of the various brake systems, allowing independent management of them. In the top right are the signal and speed limit displays. These feature an indication of what is approaching and a countdown distance to when they will come into effect. Some of these displays can be hidden via the settings menu for a more challenging experience. This train is ready to go. Pull the indicated handle towards you to get moving.
So they say to do that, but we actually have to set the brake first, release the brake. Reversers and forward. Throttle is going to be in notch 4.
The Clinchfield Railroad is both an originator of coal tonnage and a bridge line for manifest freight traffic.
Interesting. We do got the same bell from Train Sim.
This is a classic electromotive F7 diesel electric. The Clinchfield Railroad operates 24 of the cab-equipped A unit and 20 of the booster B units.
What I was saying was, it has the same bell from the Train Sim Railworks game, but the horn is different. The horn is actually a lot better. I will say that. It's a lot better than the Railworks game. Now I gotta figure out where all these controls are. So we have headlight on. Oh, so... Okay, so there we go. Okay. Generator field on, engine run on, number lights, we'll turn those on. Class light, keep that on. Cool. So we can't go any more than notch 4, it looks like. So this is going to be our communications device, it looks like. Yep. She's gone, which is fine.
Train Sim World 2 allows you to ride and operate from a selection of camera views. Let's take a look now while exploring this train.
3 to access the external camera. Very cool. We do got a, looks like 2 A units on this train today. We do got a caboose as well. Very cool. Very cool stuff indeed. Hop back in the cab here. Oh, we don't, nope, we don't want the wipers. There we go, internal camera. That's the wiper.
You've only explored a small area here, so let's take a look at what else.
Oh, that's cool. You can set where you want the wiper. That's pretty cool.
Welcome to the Clinchfield Railroad. The Clinchfield is one of America's most famous and iconic railroads. Thanks to its rugged, remote, awe-inspiring scenery and tough mountain operations, the Clinchfield is often called the Rio Grande of the East. The north end of the Clinchfield is in the heart of Appalachian coal country, and you'll be serving mines, tipples and loaders along the railroad's main line and branches. The Clinchfield is also a busy artery for manifest freight moving between America's Midwest and South. As an engineer on the Clinchfield, you'll face the challenges of steep grades and heavy tonnage. Along the way, don't forget to repair broken fences, clear fallen logs, refill fire buckets, and bag up spilled coal. Whether operating on the main line or working on the branch lines, you choose the pace. Welcome to the legendary Clinchfield Railroad.
Alright, so that is a lot of things we can do in the Clinchfield Railroad. Very cool. Very cool. I'm actually looking forward to driving these F7s out here and whatnot and getting used to the feel of, you know, the older locomotives. I'm still waiting on steam locomotives to come into this game, man. I really am. But let's go ahead and take an introduction of the F7, and then we'll take an introduction of the the SD40.
Welcome to Engineer Training. Here you'll be taken through the operation of a classic Electromotive Division F7 diesel-electric locomotive. During this brief introduction, we will go through the critical locomotive controls and freight operations. When you're ready, climb aboard to get started.
Alright, here we are. Let's go ahead and climb aboard the locomotive here. Climb up the ladder.
Take a seat in the engineer's position. This is where you'll be spending most of your time.
It says any available seat, but even though they want us in the engineer seat, it says any available seat.
The fuel pump will need to be closed to allow fuel to reach the locomotive.
There we go.
The engine is currently shut down and will need to be started before progressing. Press and hold the engine start button to activate it.
So they want it held for about 10 seconds. There we go.
The isolation valve is currently in the start position. Use the indicated control to set the isolation valve to the run position.
And it's in run.
The rotate valve allows the operator to set the brake mode to match the required operation of the locomotive. For the lead locomotive of a long train, use the freight setting. For the lead locomotive of a shorter train, use the passenger setting. If the locomotive is a trailing locomotive, use the appropriate freight or passenger lap setting. If running as a light locomotive, the passenger setting is recommended for rapid brake response.
So we want to put it on, oh, that's interesting. Passenger lap. So we'll set it to freight.
The reverser determines the direction of travel.
So we want this to forward.
The transition lever is used to control the flow of the electrical current to the traction motors, which is set based on the movement the locomotive is currently performing. As we are performing switching duties around a yard, we will need to set the control to series parallel shunt. Do this now by using the indicated lever.
Okay, so this is actually kind of different. We got to set the brake to that, to freight, you know, all that fun stuff. And now we have parallel stunt. So we have series parallel shunt. Oh, okay, so we just have those two then.
The unit selector is used by the engineer to specify how many locomotives are in the current lash-up. Use the indicated lever to set the number of locomotives in this formation.
So does that mean we can have a maximum of 4? That looks like we can have a maximum of 4 locomotives. Interesting.
The generator field switch will need to be set. Use the indicated switch to activate the generator field now.
Set. And then engine run. Independent brake we want released.
For this introduction, we will be performing switching duties and handling the loading of hoppers.
Okay.
You are now ready for service. Using the throttle, apply a small amount of power to get moving.
Probably put the headlights on first. Brake is... we want that running, I guess. So let us go ahead and go to notch 1. Very cool. I don't think our lights are on, though. Oh, they were. And there we go. Alright, so this is actually really different than the other scenarios with how to start up this locomotive and stuff. Set the transition. We got to set the unit selector, the rotator valve, which is different compared to the other locomotives. So pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Usually you just set like the engine run, the control and fuel pump, and you know, you start the engine, then you set the brake to freight or passenger, to 12 trailer, whatever the heck it would be, and then that's it. But yeah, this is actually really cool. Different. We got safety pedal, which I'm assuming is kind of like a the alerter. Not sure if they actually had alerters. We got gauge lights switch over there. That's also the wiper. One thing I was actually showing in the other scenarios, you can actually set to where you want your wiper to be, which is actually really cool and different to see in this game. So we want to make sure that we get up to about 10 miles an hour here real quick.
Coasting is a method used to efficiently maintain speed.
So coast. So set it to idle.
Keeping to speed limits is important. If you begin overspeeding, apply a small amount of brake by moving the handle into the braking range.
I understand that. So we're going to stop at that location over there. Sounds like a plan. At Potter Coal Tipple Track. Potter Coal Tipple Track. So we're going to keep the speed going because we're not trying to slow down here. Oh, we actually had... wait, oh, I was going to say, I thought we had, like... okay, that's a very weird glitch. I'm not going to lie. That is a very weird glitch. So we do want to stop right there. Driving under the speed limit, 30 points right there. Works for me. We can open up and close the windows down. This is the sander. So we got sand and then sand lead. Very cool. I don't know if we can do anything over here. Transition cutout, man to auto. I'm not going to mess with that right now. We can't go into the engine room there. But we do have 2 locomotives. So we'll just use the independent brake. Man, these are some weathered locomotives. That's really cool, though, that they actually included weathered locomotives. Patiently waiting on the horseshoe curve route, though. Patiently waiting for that to come out. Should be any day now, hopefully.
This yard features both manual and automatic switches. The manual switches will need to be set on foot before departing. Climb down now and make sure the switches are set to the correct position.
Alright, so we gotta walk over here, walk our butt over here, make sure that the switch is set to access the hoppers, which it is not. So we want to set it to the right. And then those are the hoppers.
Are in front of us. You will need to approach them slowly to safely couple and avoid a potential derailment.
That is exactly what we are going to do. Exactly what we are going to do. Release you. Notch 1. Nope, we're going backwards. We're going backwards. There we go. But yeah, I feel like every single time we do these introduction scenarios, it's always the same thing. Wait, front horn and rear horn. What's the difference? Okay, somebody in the comment section explain to me what the difference is between front and rear horn. Because I have no idea. I have no idea. And same thing, safety pedal. Is that the same thing as a alerter? Like an alerter acknowledge button or something? But yeah, is there like a cab light or something in here? I don't think so. Last light, number board lights. I'm actually going to turn those off because I feel like we're not going to need them. Let's go ahead and start adding our brake here. So we could slowly couple onto these cars in front of us. Got our little safety stop. There we go.
With the hoppers successfully coupled, your next task is to bring the cut of cars over to the tipple to begin the loading process.
Okay.
When
Let's
loading
put the
hoppers,
brake
you
on.
need to keep to a slow and controlled speed to allow the loader to correctly and safely load the hoppers. Apply a small amount of power to start moving and then adjust the throttle back to the idle position once you're traveling at no more than 3 miles per hour.
Okay, so we just keep shoving it back. I understand. So we got two different types of hoppers here. You can see one is taller than the other. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Kind of like loading hopper cars at the CSX heavy haul route. Pretty much the original OG route to this game. Back when it was still Train Sim World. Before Train Sim World 2 and TSW 2020. That was the original OG. And yes, so we're going to be shoving these things back. Surprised they're not having us check the switches here unless this is one of the automatic switches. So we'll get it down to about 3.5. Then we'll keep it in idle here. Keep it at notch 1. And there we go. So looks like the switch is aligned for movement, so we're all good there. We'll just kind of keep this view. We got those cars right there full of coal, ready to go. And we're just going to be the yard crew filling coal all day, it seems like. Alright, so I'm not too sure if we actually have to stop or if it just loads on the go. I'm assuming it just loads on the go. Because I know a lot of times in Railworks you actually had to stop to fill. But I'm assuming it just goes on the go. Yep, on the go. That's what I thought. Alright, that car is now full. Keep shoving to the next ones. Very cool. Very cool stuff indeed. And that's cool that it gives you a little percentage thing that shows you how full the car is. That's pretty cool.
Nice job. The hoppers are now loaded. Your final task is to couple this cut of cars to the waiting train.
So which... Okay, let's go ahead and stop. Alright, so it looks like we're going to have to get out here, set the switch. Alright, so we want it set to the right. And then we're going to have to go back that way.
Contact the dispatcher before you can leave the yard. Contact the dispatcher and ensure you're given clearance before proceeding.
Okay, so we got to hit tab, make sure that we contact the dispatcher. Alright, let's hop in the engineer seat, contact signaler. Seat at restricted speed. So we actually want to put you in reverse. That's what I thought, in reverse, because we're going to go all the way over there. And then I'm assuming it's going to get coupled onto this train. If only you could... Oh, you can't crouch in this game, but you can't actually look out the window here. So, we're going to make sure we don't go above 10 miles an hour. Alright, so we can actually go up to like 15 miles an hour, it looks, or 20 miles an hour, which is fine. Probably turn the headlight on this locomotive, but it is what it is. It's gonna keep shoving back. I'm honestly surprised they didn't have us turn this one on instead. And then, you know, just have that one be the trailing. But then again, you never know. You never know. But yeah, I'm honestly surprised. I really am. Coolio. It's actually different though. Like, this is actually really cool. See, this is one of the reasons why I love TSW, is because it's more realistic and you get to do more stuff than in Railworks, which is amazing to see in a train sim. There we go. We want to go to the yard, going down to a 15. Okay, there we go. Service is where I want it to be at, I'm pretty sure. Alright, so couple it on to an awaiting train. So we gotta probably have to check the switch here, then couple it onto this. No? That's, I don't know. Maybe the train's coming in. Oh, we wanted at service. There we go. Set the switch to access the hoppers. Wait, you're kidding me, right? You're kidding me. You made me come all the way out here. You're joking, right? So what was the whole point of coming all the way out here when the train was all the way back there? I am so confused right now. I'm really confused. You know what's weird though is that they're two different types of hoppers, but they share the same road number, 300 series, 355, 389. Very weird. But yeah, you had me come all the way out here just so you can have me go couple onto those cars over there. That does not make any sense to me. Alright, so I'm actually going to go ahead and stop the train right here before the road grade crossing here, because I'm going to go check something out real quick. Alright, so honestly, all we pretty much could have done was just this, and then went past this switch right here to couple on. Because that looks like the track. Yep, that is exactly the track we're supposed to go on. That made no sense why we had to go all the way to the back to the yard. It made no sense. Alright, so we are finally getting close to coupling onto these hopper cars here. I still have no idea why it took so long for us, or I still have no idea why we had to go all the way out over there. But we did. So we're going to do our little safety test here real quick, and then we should be good after we couple onto these bad boys. Alright, here we go. 301 series coupling on to a 300 series. Let's go. All good. Almost. Got it. Put the brake on.
Now coupled, you can uncouple the locomotive from the train. Use the cut bar on the rear hopper to uncouple the hoppers from this locomotive.
And then we're probably going to take the locomotive somewhere. Cut bar. Climb over the coupler, because, you know, let's just do that. Unlocked. Can't climb over the coupler this time.
That is all of the tasks that have been assigned to you for now. Bring the locomotive back to the yard for use later in the day.
I told you we're going to have to go back to the yard. I just knew it. I just knew it. Alright, so we are now reaching the track that we're supposed to be on to house these locomotives. And yeah, we're going to house them right here on the siding track that we actually picked them up from. So I'm very curious to see what we're going to do with the SD40 locomotives, since we use these to haul coal, or fill coal and all that good stuff. So very curious to see what we're going to use these for, or the SD40s for. Full application, good enough.
Good work. That concludes all of the basics of operating this locomotive.
Works for me. So we're still level 8, we're level 3 on the railroad now, and we are level 3 on the F7. Let's go ahead and check out the SD40.
Welcome to Engineer Training. Here you'll be taken through the operation of an Electromotive Division SD40 diesel electric locomotive. During this brief introduction, we will go through the critical locomotive controls and refueling of the locomotive. When you're ready, climb aboard to get started.
Cool, so we're actually going to refuel this locomotive. Not too shabby. Let's climb up these steps. And let's go through the door. All right.
Take a seat in the engineer's position. This is where
Engineer
you'll be spending
position.
most of your time.
Ooh, this is fancy
The main
looking.
circuit breaker is used to allow power to the locomotive. Use the indicated control to set it to the closed position.
I like the interior color on this. It looks nice. I know it looks just like your standard SD40-2, but it looks a little bit fancier for some reason. So main breaker to closed. So isolation switch to start, stop, isolate.
The engine will first need to be primed to start the locomotive. Use the indicated switch and hold it in the prime position for 10 seconds.
Prime position for 10 seconds. We can do that. And then we'll probably have to hold it in engine start for 10 seconds.
Now that the engine has been primed, it's time to start it up. Using the same switch as before, move it into the start position and hold it there for 5 seconds to start the engine.
So 5 seconds this time, not 10. Interesting.
With the engine now running, set the isolation switch to the run position.
There we go. Engine's up.
Nice work. The locomotive is now ready for operation. This locomotive has 3 brake systems. The automatic brake controls the brakes on the locomotive and all the cars in the consist. The independent brake is used to control only the locomotive's brakes and is primarily used when running light. The dynamic brake is used to help control the train's speed when operating on mainline and branch line grades. As we are running light loco, we will use the independent brake to control our speed. Now move the automatic brake lever into the release position.
You got it, boss.
The cut-off valve will need to be set to the required position. Do this now by moving the cut-off valve and setting it to freight.
And we got it in freight. The other one's probably passenger.
The MU2A valve must also be set up to the required position. Move the indicated switch and set it to lead or dead.
Lead or dead. There we go.
Activate the auxiliary systems as indicated.
Engine run, generator field, and control and fuel pump. Insert the reverser. Set it to forward.
The selector lever allows you to move between power and dynamic braking modes. The B setting allows the throttle handle to control the dynamic brake, and the 1 setting allows it to apply power. Set the selector lever to 1 now.
There we go.
For this introduction, we will be moving this locomotive over to the fuel racks to refuel. This yard features manual switches which will need to be set on foot before departing. Climb down now and make sure the switches are set to the correct positions.
So we're going to do dim front and back for the headlights. They don't really get too bright, do they? No, they don't. So they want us to set the switches, but we are way too... I'm not walking that whole way away. The bell sounds the same as like the CSX SD40-2. But the horn sounds the same, but the bell sounds a little bit different. So wait, we're speeding? I was so confused. I thought it said we were speeding. Do they want us to access the switch, which we're not going to do as of yet? Oh, I see. It's because we're going over this thing. I see. Once we clear the edge here, it should be back. Yeah, there we go. That's what I thought. Okay, so that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So we're going to check over here, check this switch, and then we'll go out there, check that switch. and all of that fun stuff. But I do like the yellow number boards the Clinchfield has. The yellow number boards are unique. I do like them. So we got sand, lead sand axle. There's your horn. Surprised it's not a lever. Surprised it's a button. There's your alerter, dynamic brake circuit breaker, gauge lights. These are going to be the step lights, which we'll just turn on. And let us go ahead and hit the independent brake, come to a stop. I'll actually set you into neutral if we can. Nope, we can't. Alright. So we're going to check over these switches here real quick. This one's good. And then we want it to the main line. So that one is not set properly.
This locomotive is now ready for service. Use the throttle and apply a small amount of power to get moving.
I'm not sure where the fueling rack is. So I guarantee you we're going to go to the fueling rack and then just bring it right back over here. So let's go ahead and hop up here. And let us go ahead, come here, sit in the engineer seat, release the independent, and idle. Or notch 1 from idle. This is a nice looking SD40. I'll definitely say that. I do like that they added weathering. I do like that. It gives it a more like realistic look to it, so that it doesn't look like it literally just came out of, you know, the paint shop or the locomotive shop or just came out of the train wash or whatever. I like that they put like grimy, you know, rust stains, dust, weathering on the locomotives. It just gives it that more authentic feel to it, rather than, you know, you're always in a clean, you know, shiny locomotive. I do like that a lot. Okay, that's cool. So the lights do light up when you got brake warning, wheel slip, your PCS, and the sand. That's pretty cool. So they want us to gain 10 miles an hour, which we can definitely do. But yes, I'm not too sure where the fuel pumps are or anything like that. So we'll go ahead and open these windows. Why not? Just because we can. Come on, let's get up to 10.
Keeping to speed limits is important. If you begin speeding, apply a small amount of brake by moving the handle into the braking range.
Alright. Stop at location. Dante set. Wow. Wow. Let's actually pull forward because I did not check any of these switches. Well, actually, before we pull forward, let's actually check this one to make sure it's aligned for our movement, which it is not. Now it is. We're gonna have to put that switch back. Just saying. I think the independent's released, train brakes released. So we're just going to give it enough juice to get past this switch here so I could check it. And then we'll have to put that one back, of course. So there we go. And let's hop out, come back through here, and let's check these switches real quick to get us onto the right track. So yeah, that one is correct. And this one is correct. Okay, cool. So I don't even think we used this one at all. No, we didn't even use this one. So we could set it back. Yeah, we're golden. We're golden. And we also got that old style radio on this one too, except this one we can actually do something with. You can like hit buttons and stuff, even though there's nothing really to do. Can't talk to anybody in this game, unfortunately. But yes, so we got 78 yards, so we got to come to a stop because this game is very bad at directions and telling us where we need to go before we reach 10 miles an hour. Luckily, we didn't pass any stop signals. That's really all that matters. Alright, so we do got an independent brake here. Independent brake application in a minute. There we go. A little bit more. Okay, a little bit more. Let's try now. Ah, there we go.
The refueling point is behind us. Make sure that the switches are set to the correct position and then reverse the locomotive to the fuel racks.
Okay, no. We are going to reverse back in the locomotive here, and then we're going to head back that way. So we're going to teach you guys how to refuel locomotives here in TSW2 if you guys don't know how to do it. Alright, we are all stopped, ready to get out and check our switches here. And we're supposed to be going to the fuel road. So it's not like a fuel, like a place where you get fuel, it's a road. So, to the left. And then this one, so that's to the left. And this one is to the left. Then we have to check this one and set this one to the right. And then the fuel road is set properly. Okay. Alright, slowly we are creeping up to the fuel pump here. Very slowly. And we're going to go ahead and stop right here. Looks like a good spot. Yep, we're good enough right there. Awesome.
With the locomotive now positioned next to the fuel rack, you will need to prepare the locomotive for refueling. To begin, open the fuel cap to allow access to the locomotive's fuel tank.
I'm going to keep the independent at full application here. We got to remove the fuel cap, so we'll come all the way towards the back here. I'll walk on this little platform thing. Remove the fuel cap.
Now take hold of the fuel hose and then insert it into the fuel.
Fuel hose, insert into the fuel cap. Oh, nope. I need to back up. I think I need to back up a little bit more. No, I don't even have it. I need to back up a little bit more. Oh.
Into the tank, you can begin refueling. Use the indicated control to allow fuel to flow into the tank.
Okay. We check that from here, I'm assuming. Nope, right here. Okay, so apparently I actually cannot refill this locomotive. Because it is not letting me. I either glitched out the scenario or something happened, but it is not letting me refill the locomotive. So I have no clue. Because every time I do the fuel cap, I go to grab the nozzle. It says fuel cap open, and then there is nothing around here to actually do anything with. There is like fuel cap, but then fuel cap, it'll close, and then I'll do that, and then you go underneath, it goes away, and then a new one pops up, and then it just closes it. So either I glitched the scenario, or the scenario was glitched to begin with. I don't know, but there is nothing I can do to fill this locomotive. So yeah, that is actually going to go ahead and do it for this one then. I'm not too sure. I might have to do this again another time and finish it off, just to get the get the three training ones done. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know, guys. That is going to go ahead and do it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know this one wasn't the most entertaining introduction, but it was really excited for this route nonetheless. And yeah, make sure you guys hit the like button on your way out. Hit that subscribe button. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.